Only the waters of the Firth of Forth separating Kirkcaldy to the north and Edinburgh to the south. 3,000 fans packing Kirkcaldy ice rink, expecting a great match, and with the league's top scorer on the ice. He's Canadian Dave Stojanovic, number one line left winger of Fife Flyers. He's already broken the league and cup season scoring record with 130 goals. He's scored 94 goals in the league so far this season. One more breaks the Premier Division record. So referee Alex McWilliam gets the game in motion. And it's Murrayfield Racers in the red attacking the goal to the right, who have possession. But not now. Neil Abel down the centre. Picked up by Ron Plum for Kirkcaldy. Fife Flyers now attacking into the Murrayfield end. Puck still there. That was Danny Brown floating it across. A shot on the net, and it almost sneaked through. Murray Hansen had a late look at it. The puck and the shot kept low. And Murray Hansen, who's got a percentage save of 87% this season, has the first shot to stop. Murrayfield Racers coach there, Alec Dampier. He's in his last season with Murrayfield. He's going to go and join Nottingham Panthers next season. Fife Flyers keeping on their first line, hoping to get a quick goal. Floating it in. That was good play. And just over the top from Danny Brown. That was a good play. Now back from Murrayfield. And Andy Donald keeping that one. A rebound off the boards and not letting anything get away. Andy Donald, who's got a percentage saves of 84.4, has had 578 shots, 90 goals he's conceded. 7th in the goalminders' averages. So the face-off now alongside the Fife Flyers net. With Gordon Latto facing off, the Fife captain still kept in. Well intercepted there by Paul Hand. That's Chick Cottrell. Well, some neat tackling, but well picked up there. Chris Kellan trying to get it across. Out come Fife Flyers. Gordon Latto. The pass in front, and a good stop there. Good stop by Murray Hansen. Going to be a face-off just to the right of the Murrayfield net. Face-off now. Tam Gillespie, the linesman, drops the puck. And it's shot out by Chris Kellan. Picked up again by Kellan, Canadian defenseman. Good pass. Backhand shot. And just off the target. Back to Kellan again, who set up that last play. This time by Gordon Latto. That shot, I don't think that Andy Donald had much of a sight of that. However, it went off the top, but there had been a whistle, and a face-off will be taking place outside the Murrayfield defence zone. But here comes Neil Abel with a slap shot. Kicked away there by Murray Hansen. Paul Hand and Danny Brown getting mixed up on the boards. Fife still in possession. Only comes as far as the blue line. Now it's come out. Here's Chris Kellan all by himself. He has a great chance. Oh, beautiful poke check there by Stojanovic. And the net is off its mooring, so they'll have to stop. But it was Stojanovic who came back there and made that poke check. Chris Kellan had come through. He's breaking out now from his own end. He's over the halfway line. Look at Stojanovic coming across there and just makes that poke check at the right moment. And then it's Kelland who hits the net. Leto for Fife. Coming out fast. Good stick handling. And it's going to be a penalty, but the player is still in possession. The Fife still in possession, so there's no whistle until Fife lose possession. They've now lost possession, and there's going to be a penalty for hooking. Now, there's the hooking. Gordon Leto went down, and so Jim Lynch goes into the penalty box. Jim Lynch of Murrayfield, who's one of their top scorers. In the box for 2 minutes, and now Fife have the opportunity again with the power play to try and open the scoring. At the moment, they're out shooting Murrayfield. 9-3, but they haven't made them count. Plum to Neil Abel. Stojanovic on the left. Abel, good pass. This is Andy Linton. Just bounced over Danny Brown's stick. Back to the point again. Andy Linton out in front, and that was a chance for Stojanovic. He doesn't usually miss them as close as that. Murrayfield doing well. McDougall just shooting it down the ice. Remember that if the team are a man short, there's no icing play. Abel. Tremendous slap shot. Murray Hansen only has had a sight of that. Abel again on the net, kicked away by Hansen. Out of play, be a face-off. All the players have their own spare sticks in case they get one broken, because if you have a broken stick, you can't play on the ice. You have to drop it immediately and go and get a new one. If you play with a broken stick, you get a penalty. Danny Brown. Fife have won 12 of the face-offs so far to Murrayfield 6. Here's Plum. Bounce just clear of that far post. Back to Abel again. Abel to Stojanovic. Here's Danny Brown. Oh, that was a chance for Linton. That really was a chance. Still that puck bouncing around the Murrayfield net. Remember that Murrayfield are man short, and out they come. It's big Gordon McDougall. McDougall going well. Good shot. Knocked away by Andy Donald. Well, McDougall still back checking there, but now it's Stojanovic. Stojanovic with the shot. Got there by Chris Kelland. Stojanovic still in possession. McDougall shooting it down the ice. No whistle. Ron Plum. Danny Brown. Here goes Brown. Good shot and a great goal. Only 2 seconds left on that penalty, and it's Danny Brown who opens the scoring. And that's the G block, that's the support. Danny Brown's 64th goal of the season, and Fife Flyers take the lead. Comes out of that end, he has a lightning shot, keeps it low, slaps it, 120 miles an hour, just inside that left-hand post, and it's Danny Brown who makes it 1-0. Here it is again. Correct. It's there. Heat. There's Paul Hand. Taking Jim Pennycook out of the play. And again, and he checked him into the net. And yes, Paul Hand is going to take a penalty. Paul Hand will take the penalty. As the Fife player went towards the net, Hand checked him. Willie Clark there on the left, the manager of Murrayfield, played in goal for Great Britain in World Championships. So we're going to have another power play for Fife. Paul Hand going to sit out for 2 minutes for interference. And Fife had 2 power plays and have scored 1 goal so far. They're keeping it in. Chris Keller. Only as far as Ron Plum. Plum's right-hand shot. Back to Plum again. Off the backboards, Andy Linton, number 14 for Fife. Here's Gordon McDougall. Murrayfield just want to keep possession because they're the man short, remember. Kelland, across to Paul Heavey, and that's way up into the crowd. A pace off from where the puck was shot from. Way up into that crowd, and this 3,000 crowd here are absolutely all ice hockey fanatics. So we have Paul Hand in the box. Fife with the power play and their number 1 line on the ice. Danny Brown, number 19. Comes to Chris Keller. 1:18, 1:16 is the time left on the penalty to Paul Hand, and 6:32 is the time on the first period to play. Stojanovic. Well, Fife have got this man advantage. Plum, shot. That was a good one and a good stop by Murray Hansen. Back to Plum again. Plum's shot. Oh, great goal. It kept low. 2 great shots, and G Block have erupted again. So we've had 3 power plays, and they scored twice now, Fife, and Ronnie Plum was the man who scored. Back to the point there. Here's Plum, kept the shot low. It's now 2-0. Good shot. There it is, 2-0 to Fife Flyers. Well, now it's Fife who are pushing it down the ice to relieve the pressure. Situation we haven't seen thus far in the match. Hand. McIntyre on the left. Good shot, and it's there. Callum Hastings. Callum Hastings, the scorer. That's his first goal. And here he comes through. Takes it on the left, then flicks it up just inside that left post. So Callum Hastings, who's only got 1 assist so far for Murrayfield Racers, gets his first goal for them. 2-1. It's really tight. Stojanovic. Out of play. Face-off just outside Murrayfield's end. Drummond. Across to Plum. Plum's shot. Knocked away by Hansen. Another face-off. Cam Gillespie, the linesman. Jim Lynch for Murrayfield. And Stojanovic was facing off at centre there for Fife, which makes me wonder whether Danny Brown is suffering an injury. Well, turned back by Kelland. Ron Plum, their coach of Fife, to Brian Pete. Drummond, the man who put it there. That one really came out of the blue, and G Block are on their feet again. Nobody was expecting that one, but Drummond really let it go. He took it virtually from his own end of the ring. Here he is. Lets it go. Just to the right of Murray Hansen. So Stuart Drummond gets his second goal in the lead. 3-1, Fife Flyers lead.
It was a tremendous atmosphere.
Chris Cullen, the Murrayfield captain, inquiring how long there is on the first penalty. There's 30 seconds of the first penalty to go, and they're still playing 3 against 5 out players, and thus far Fife have not added to their score. Stojanovic. Oh, that's it! Stojanovic has got it at last, and he's picked up the puck. He wants that puck because that goal is a new record in the Premier Division. 95 goals. He's taken that puck because it's going to be mounted. So Dave Stojanovic, with that lightning snapshot, has made 95 goals, a record in the Premier Division. He's coming in from that pointed position, snaps it, keeps it low, and there it is. Jim Lynch turning away, coming back for the face-off. Ball hand down the boards. Gordon Latto. Pete. Doug Latto. There's a whistle there. There it is. And this time it's a Fife player who's going to go into the box. There's a few instances of pushing and shoving on the ice, and Doug Latto is going to spend 2 minutes in the box. So now Murrayfield have got the man advantage with this power play. Latto out for 2 minutes in the sin bin. Jim Lynch, number 3 for Murrayfield, to McDougall. McDougall still there. Tony Hand. And the puck bounces off Stojanovic, relieves the pressure. Tony Hand. Now, can we see some of this playmaking brilliance? Carries that puck beautifully, and he's got through. Taken out in the corner. Back as far as the blue line, Paul Pentland, and that just bounced over the top of the net. Now Fife in possession. Again, Murrayfield start from scratch. 25 seconds on the penalty. Chris Cullen for Murrayfield. Nice carrying of the puck. Good shot, and only just outside, inches wide. Jim Lynch. Good pass. There it is. The unmarked man was Gordon McDougall. So Murrayfield get their power play goal, and the score goes to 4-2. Gordon McDougall was in exactly the right place when that pass came across. He was unmarked in front of the net. There he is. 4-2, Fife Flyers lead. Right. Murrayfield in the Fife end. Gordon Latto, neat stick handling. Still with it. Latto from one end to the other. No whistle on that. Pete. Murray Hansen again. The puck bouncing around, and it bounced over the top. I think that Danny Brown was probably a bit lucky on that one, but it went in the net. G blocker up. So are H. But I really think he was a wee bit lucky on that one. But they all count. Here's the play coming in. Gordon Latto carrying it from one end to the other. Some good stick handling. Taken down. No whistle because Fife still have possession. It's there on the blue line. There's the shot. It bounced up, and there was Danny Brown. 5-2. Tony Hand coming up for the face-off, and Murrayfield really need another goal before they go in at the end of this second period. 5-2 is the score at the moment. They're keeping the pressure on Fife, but not putting it away. Brian Peat for Fife. Peat. Very neat by Ron Plum. Plum with a shot, and it's right between the legs of Murray Hansen. Ron Plum with the shot makes it 6-2 for Fife Flyers. Well, it was Murrayfield that needed the goal. It was Fife Flyers that got it. And Ron Plum, the Canadian player coach, who plays a great game on defence, came forward to make it 6-2. Pete passed the pass. Neat stick handling by Ron Plum. With a right-hand shot, plays right-hand defence, takes it in, keeps it low, right between Murray Hansen's legs. And Murray Hansen, for once, beaten 6-2 is the score for Fife Flyers.
Well, we recorded that. We're now going live to the third period, which is just underway. Alan.
Yes, just about 3 seconds of play gone in this third period. And the score 6-2, as you saw it. And Murrayfield now taking up the attack. Gordon McDougall. Good stick handling. Tried to stop on the boards there with Ron Plum. A pass out. A shot off the net. Still Murrayfield keeping it there. They need the goal badly. It's out. Now they'll all have to come out now. Went over the blue line. Paul Hand shooting it back. Offside. Well, Murrayfield did a lot of pressure, but this boy here, Tony Hand, who's really the second, in fact is the second highest scorer in the league and the best playmaker in the league with 75 assists, only got here just in time to start playing in the second period. He played for Great Britain in Italy last night when the Great Britain juniors beat Italy 8-5. So he's doing very well to actually be on the ice, and apart from that he had an injury playing for Great Britain. But now it's Stojanovic, the league's top scorer, through, but the puck just rolled away from him. This is Paul Hand, Tony Hand's brother. Here's Tony Hand. Back to McDougall. Picked up there by Stojanovic. Danny Brown just couldn't get it. Now Ron Plum. Andy Linton with him. Plum with that shot, and it's flicked away right up into the crowd. So far in the shots on the goal, in the first period, Fife had 20 to Murrayfield's 9. In the second period, Fife had 16 to Murrayfield's 11. So with 36 shots against 20, one can expect that the goal score should be about 6-2. However, Stojanovic there going in, the last man to sit down, and it's going to be a face-off now with Lindsay Lovell. Picked up by Bruce Pentland. Just hoping to get a rebound, he does. Knocked away there by Andy Donald. Fife really in the driver's seat. It was bad luck for Pentland. If he kept it in, they would have stayed in that end. Now they've all got to come out and start again. Pentland to Duncan McIntyre. McIntyre through. The pass and the shot, but blocked in front of the net. And again, pushed away by Donald. Well, Murrayfield are really in there. Doug Latto. Jim Pennycook. And now Doug Latto again. That was Gordon Latto. Pennycook. Murrayfield back there. Back checking. Puck bouncing, but still in play. And it's in the net. Well, that was really lucky. Gordon Latto, the Fife captain, has made it 7-2. The puck was bouncing all around the edge there. There they are against the boards. The puck just bounces out. Gordon Latto slaps it, and it bounced, and it was deflected there by the defenseman. Bad luck on Murray Hansen, who Hansen really has played a great game. But Gordon Latto, the captain of Fife Flyers, has made it 7-2. So now Ron Plum. To Stuart Drummond. Drummond in the corner. Plum clear. Fife just spreading up. Cannon. Danny Brown going back for it. Murrayfield in possession. Tony Hand. No, Paul Hand, his brother. Jim Lynch. Lynch gets the bouncing puck. Got by McClellan. Danny Brown. This time it's Ron Plum. The short passes there, and a puck mixed up amongst the players' skates in the centre of the ice there. Now, a break. Fife is moving out fast. McClellan was going through there first, but the pass didn't come across. Lynch for Murrayfield. Well, Fife have decided to trap the puck in that end, and they'll get a face-off in the Murrayfield end. You can see the circles on the ice there. That's because Kirkcaldy is a very fine curling rink. They've had the Scottish Championships and the European Championships here, so those are permanent markings on the ice. And of course, they also have a very good ice hockey team. Shot, well held by Murray Hansen. That was from Danny Brown. Punch on the boards by Paul Heavey. No whistle. Neil Abel, number 6. He's taking his time, gets it through. Here's Stojanovic. There's the shot, and that was a save by Hansen. He kicked it clear. The puck is underneath the body of the player. The referees have lost sight of it, so it'll be a face-off. Well, we've got another face-off, and Stojanovic, you've got to watch that shot all the way because it really comes. Good stop there by Murray Hansen. Well, he's breaking every record in the Premier Division, Stojanovic. Big boy from London, Ontario. Danny Brown, who's from Toronto, facing off there, number 19. Each team, remember, allowed 3 imported players in the main. They're usually Canadians. So that shot deflected. And the puck still loose in front of the net. Kelland's shot, it's there. Got the rebound, Chris Kelland. He got the first shot, the puck came out, and it looks as though he scooped up the second one. So Murrayfield get one back. 7-3 the score. And Chris Kelland, another Canadian, comes in. Kelland with the shot. Bounces up, he gets the rebound. Kelland very quick. He didn't play it above the level of his shoulder. If he had, of course, there would have been a whistle. So Kelland, all-star left defence last season. 7-3, and there's a face-off for offside. The Murrayfield team, I think, really at a disadvantage, not having their top playmaker in Tony Hand really absolutely fit. And Alex Dampier here with a bit of a problem. Fife, Stuart Drummond into the Murrayfield end. Chris Kelland didn't get it out. This time it does come out. Duncan McIntyre, that's a good pass. And Foster in front. Andy Donald had to smother it. It was bouncing loose. Remember, Andy Donald hasn't had the shots on goal that Murray Hansen has. He had 20 in the first 2 periods. So far, the crowd are really enthusiastic because Fife have had 39 shots on the net so far against the 25 of Murrayfield, so the play going in their own way. Fife taken out by Paul Hand. And that puck loose. Paul Heavey will get there first. He does. Going to take his time. Pass out. Jim Lynch. Good pass. That wasn't offside. Here's a chance in front. And it was Paul Hand in front, but it comes out to Gordon Latta. Picked up by Jim Pennycook. Intercepted by Gordon McDougall. Paul Hand. Puck trapped, face off. The referee Alex McWilliam, very experienced international official. That's Tam Gillespie, the linesman, 2 linesmen, remember, all the offsides, the referee in charge of the game overall. Gordon McDougall and number 19, Danny Brown. This is Ron Plum. On to McClellan, intercepted well by Tony Hand. Again, the neat stick handling. Lindsay Lovell to Tony Hand, Hand shot, almost got through. It hasn't got through. Andy Donald smothered it again. Good action. Murrayfield coming back there, but good action by Donald. Well, if Tony Hand was really in shape, you see him getting in there with these plays. There's the shot. Stopped by Donald. Moved in again and made a second good stop and then smothered it. So the face-off is in that end, and Tony Hand goes into the box. This is Neil Abel. Plum. Tipped it through. Now Fife really back-checking. They're not letting them get away at all. With a 7-3 advantage on the score. It's got to be Murrayfield taking it to them all the time. Donald dropped it for Neil Abel, and Neil Abel missed it. That could have been really dangerous, but it wasn't. Ron Plum with a pass. Well, the pass back is pushed out. Danny Brown just didn't get a hold of it. Donald deciding to smother it this time. And there's a few players being taken out on the boards fairly heavily. Lindsay Lovell, one of them. Lindsay Lovell, who's here, and so is his grandfather and his father. They both played for British ice hockey. Lindsay Lovell's grandfather played for Fife Flyers back in 1938. And his father played for Brighton Tigers in the 1960s. And here's Lindsay Lovell, the grandson. 3 generations have done very well in British ice hockey. So we have the face-off. Around the back and into the corner. Trying to flick it away. Murrayfield keeping the pressure on, though. It's Gordon McDougall coming back for it. He's got a slap shot off the net. Picked up by Brian Peat. Poor pass. And the puck out of play. So in this period, we've in fact, Murrayfield have really increased the pressure, and they've had 9 shots on the net, as opposed to Fife Flyers 3, which is a reversal of the first 2 periods. Maybe it's got to go that way because Murrayfield are right behind. Paul Hand trying to float it back. Here's Stojanovic. Can really accelerate. Lucky on that. Lost possession of it, taken out by Paul Heavey. He took Paul Heavey out. Heavey holding his stick. Could well be a penalty against Paul Heavey, and it is. Well, Paul Heavey took Stojanovic out of the play, and he goes into the box for 2 minutes for holding. As Stojanovic went into the boards, Heavey got a hold of his stick when he tried to get away. As they're going down towards the corner, they're going away, he takes him out. Actually, Stojanovic gets the better of it, and then after that, it was Heavey who was holding Stojanovic in an effort to stop him getting back into the play. But all it means is that Murrayfield are now back to 4 men on the ice with 5 Flyers in a power play situation. It's 7-3 for 5 Flyers. Stojanovic took that body check very well indeed. And 5 Flyers, if they've had 5 power plays and have scored 3 goals on the 5 power plays. So, good pass. Stojanovic is in there. He's got Jim Pennicook. There's Pennicook. Pennicook in front. Knocked away. Jim Lynch coming out with it. Flicking it through. This is Tony Hand. Hand still in possession. Out come Fife. Stojanovic. Danny Brown. Knocked away by Murray Hansen. It's up and down. Well played. Tony Hand. Hand with the shot. Not a good one. Still Murrayfield have it in there. Remember, they're a man short. So they get a whistle and they keep it at the right end of the rink as far as they're concerned. 1 minute and 13 seconds on the penalty to go. 11:40 on the game. Jim Lynch there. And Tony Hand is in there. He's, I must say, done very well to get into this game at all, having arrived so late and with an injured ankle. But he's going and he's having a go. So we have this face-off just inside the Fife zone. There's the score, 7-3. And we've got 11 minutes and 40 seconds to play on this period, and 1 minute and 13 on the penalty. The penalty time is on the left there. Murrayfield doing well, considering that they are a man short. Plum. Danny Brown, and he can really skate. Brown is in there. Brown, a good pass, and a very good goal. Excellent goal. They had the man right. Stuart Drummond. Here's the breakout. Danny Brown. A beautiful pass. And Stuart Drummond came in there. There's Danny Brown again. Makes a lovely pass across. And so, once again, Fife players take advantage of the power play. It's 8-3. Murrayfield races. Now back at full strength, of course. Goal having been scored. And here's Duncan McIntyre. Chris Kellan. Just flipped it. Difficult one. When they're twisting in the air, the goalie really has to get a hold of it and smother it. Chris Kellan coming in hoping for a rebound. So Fife Flyers now. Shots on goal in this period. They've had certainly went up from the 3. They've now had 9 shots on the goal in this period. Face off again. Number 5 is Lindsay Lovell, coming in from the left, and going in there is Danny Brown, number 19. They both have their sticks on the ice, and the puck is dropped between them. Murrayfield not winning the puck. Out they come. Danny Brown again. He's got Stojanovic on the left. Just off. Good shot and a beautiful stop by Murray Hansen. Great save. Still back again. Brown in front. Just didn't quite get it by Andy Linton. The pass. Stojanovic. Well, Murray Hansen knew where that was going. He let it go into the corner. Still, that puck is floating around the Murrayfield net. Chris Kellan shooting it down. Only as far as Pete. Stojanovic. Five Flyers really beginning to fly. Offside. Jim Pennicook had gone offside on this side of the rink. The puck, remember, must go over the line before any of the players' skates, and both skates are there. So we've got a face-off, and the Five Flyers changing. Well, that crowd really going now. 3,000 people. Started queuing at about 9 o'clock this morning. Ball hand. Jim Lynch, neat stick handling. Tony Hand. In front is Gordon McDougall. He's there. Pushed away there by the goalie. Didn't get us very far. Paul Heavey off the net. Jim Lynch still there. Murrayfield now with the pressure on. Still there. Tony Ham with a pass. And Andy Donald just smothered it. The two goalies playing extremely well. Andy Donald, in fact, who was born in Toronto but has lived here in Kirkcaldy for 10 years and has played in the Great Britain under-20 team. Here's the shot. Comes through, takes it, and then he sits on it. He knew where it was gone. So the face-off. Still Murrayfield keeping it that way. McDougall. Good stick handling, good pass! And a good stop. Well saved, Donald. That was good play by Murrayfield. They passed the puck around, they got the right man in the right space, but there was Andy Donald to take it out. He's third in the goal minders' averages. Prior to this match, he'd had an 87% save record in the Premier Division. No, still Murrayfield. Well intercepted. Paul Hand still keeping it in play. But this time, he's over in the corner. Picked up again, still Murrayfield keeping it there. It's still inside. This time it isn't. Pushed out by McClellan. Paul Hand shooting it in. Offside. And so it is, they're both teams are going to change. Certainly Murrayfield are. Well, we've got just under 10 minutes to play in this final period, and all the pressure is on this man, Alex Dampier. Well, as I said earlier, it's his last season with Murrayfield. Next season he goes to Nottingham. Duncan McIntyre, Brian Peat, Paul Pentland, and he's off the puck, but coming back into it. Keith Foster going in there again. Kellen. And the puck eased away there by Brian Peat. Just want to keep control. Any more goals will be a bonus. That was nearly one. Good backhand shot by Stojanovic. Murrayfield. Out again. They keep coming back. But they are just not having much luck around the net. Mind you, Donald's playing well in the net. Now a chance. Again pushed out. Didn't go over the line. Paul Pentland. That was just outside the right-hand post. Here's Pentland again with a snapshot. Deflected over the top. Still in play. This time it does go out. And Fife at the moment, under pressure, just shooting it down the ice. Paul Pentland. And Craig McDougall. Gordon McDougall. He's just passing that puck. The puck is still loose. There's no whistle on that play. McDougall. That was. The puck did go over the line there before Paul Ham was able to get it. And so the face-off will be back outside the Fife defence zone. 6 minutes and 54 seconds of the match remaining, and Paul Hand, the brother of Tony Hand, he's a rugged young defenseman, there's no doubt about that. Great Britain international. For this match, he's got 82 minutes of penalties, which shows how rugged a young player he is. Well, that's bounced off the back netting. And now Ron Plum. Gordon Latto shooting it in. Jim Pennicook going after it. But the puck comes to Murrayfield. Great pass. McDougall. And that pass intercepted by Stuart Drummond. And the face-off will be just outside again, the Fife Flyers defence zone. Stuart Drummond. One of the 9 Kirkcaldy-born players in this Fife Flyers team. Gordon Latto, who took the face-off, the captain. One of them. Well, Murray Hansen wasn't going to make take any chances there, because when Fife have got close, they haven't been as close in this last period as they were in the first 2 periods, but when they have got close, they've been fairly lethal. So far in this period, Murrayfield have outshot them 12-7. When I say shots, I mean I'm talking about shots that would go in the net if the goalminder didn't stop them. Well, that's a fair crunch from ball hand. And that puck is loose, but neatly picked up by McDougall. That was offside. Well, it's been picked up. The play's on. Plum. And Pennicook. No, just couldn't get it through. Only back as far as the blue line. Drummond. Now Paul Hand. Got Tony Hand with him. Andy Donald. No chances. He's going to hold them every time. So, both teams changing now. Running into about the last 5 minutes of the game. And the Fife Flyers fans, well, they're not happy about the score at the moment, 8-3. Famous G-block of their own newsletter, by the way, that one block. Danny Brown, not a good pass for him. Stojanovic to Brown, floating it across, off the skates of Chris Kelland. Good pass, but just too far ahead of Callum Hastings. Duncan McIntyre. Now Fife moving into that Murrayfield end. Heat. Brown. The pressure's right off Fife Flyers now. Danny Brown. That was a good shot. Fractionally off. Brian Pete. Andy Linton then. Fife are now shooting into that Murrayfield end, hoping to keep it in there, but they're not. Stojanovic, though, picks up the puck. Good stick handling. Danny Brown to Stojanovic, and a good stop by Murray Hansen. That was a good play between the 2 Canadians, Brown and Stojanovic. Stojanovic's shot just stopped by Murray Hansen's skates. The 2 of them worked very well on that one. That's Danny Brown. There's Stojanovic. Stojanovic's shot, and Murray Hansen spotted it. So the 2 Canadians there worked well on that, and Murray Hansen did even better to stop it. So we've got a face-off now, just to the left of that Murrayfield net. 8-3 the score. About 4 minutes or so left. 4 minutes and 10 seconds to be precise. And in ice hockey, the scoring is precise. Electric time clock. Every time the play stops, the clock stops. All Hand. Poke check by Gordon Latto. Here's Tony Hand. When he's really fit, he's really good. But he's feeling. That will be offside when he's played it. So, the score at this stage, with about 3 minutes or so left in the match, is Fife Flyers 8 and Murrayfield Racers 3.
So Fife very much in command there, just a few minutes left, as you've heard, and we'll bring you the final